All right, it's potato time. So here's the deal. You're either gonna be a hero or a zero with the potatoes, and that is the trick with a root crop. You never know until you go to harvest them. But first, let me give you a little bit of history about this bed, when we planted it and all that stuff, and then we're gonna harvest. So you can't really see anything now. There's like 2 plants left, which is how you're supposed to know when to harvest the potatoes. This bed was full. If you go back to any of the other videos, you'll know that there was plenty of potato plants in here. We planted these right around, I believe it was Valentine's Day. So the 2nd week of February. Now, I am in coastal North Carolina. My zone does not matter, so I will not be announcing that. But we do have cool, I wouldn't say cold, we don't like get butt freezing cold, but right around February, we start to slightly warm up, and that is a good time to get it in. It takes some time to get up and growing and get moving. So, you know, we plant them then and then up until now. So today is June 3rd, and we are going to harvest these taters. We didn't do anything super crazy in here. We didn't do any crazy fertilizing. I think I fertilized them 3 times total. And I forgot to put in bone meal, I believe. So that could be an issue, but we'll see. So the good thing about this is we have to dig them all up by hand, but it'll get a good weeding in the process, and I can get this pesky weed out of here once and for all. What we got here. So there is no test pulling. Now it's just go time. We planted 4 rows, so we should be able to stay within a general vicinity of the row, and I just start digging by hand. And I always get nervous when I do this and I don't find a tater right off the bat. But here's an old plant. Look, we're winners. No, I'm just joking. So let's see. Yeah, these taters, so we planted, I believe this section here was a red potato actually. Yeah. So nice first pull on a red potato. So we'll see. We only put like maybe 6 plants of the red potatoes in, so we're not expecting to get a whole lot, which is okay. Now the trick with harvesting these taters, man, this is like a treasure trove right here. Don't nick them with your fingernail, because we still got to cure these for storage afterwards. So try not to nick them with your fingernails. Try not to use anything sharp. The skin's very delicate at this point. So we want to be aware of that and just take our time and work your way through this bed, and you'll get it. And just don't mishandle the taters at all. They're very delicate right now until you cure them, and that's what hardens up the skin and kind of gets the starches and stuff ready for storage. So we've done just over half the bed, and I'd say we got a pretty good haul going on here. So I'm happy about that. We've got just this little, I don't know, quarter of the bed left, something like that. But you can see, I've noticed a few things so far about the potatoes. So we've got a mixture of red and gold. The golds are Yukons, the reds, I don't remember what they are. If you want to know what they were, you can go back to when I was planting them back in February or even January when I was preparing the potatoes. But what I'm noticing is I'm getting anywhere from 3 to 5 taters per plant. Seems to be a reoccurring theme. I'm really paying attention to this year. So it's very interesting to see that. So let's continue going in and just see exactly what we're gonna get. Not gonna lie, I had multiple speeches planned for today, because you never know what you're gonna end up with, like I said in the beginning. And it looks like I planted kind of cattywampus with the reds. I think I just kind of started putting them in at some point. But what we're referring to is, you know, the success of growing potatoes. So I actually have a love-hate relationship with growing taters. So first of all, the hate is this. I hate doing this, but this is a really good opportunity for me to get a complete weeding on these beds. And I take that, you know, into account, because what's going in next is buckwheat. We're supposed to get a some sort of tropical system supposed to pass by within the next couple days, and that could mean periods of rain. So we want to take advantage of that and get some seed in the ground. So we'll go ahead and seed buckwheat basically supposed to start Thursday. Excuse me, pollen. I'll let these taters sit out here for the day. Let me continue doing what I'm doing here, and just kind of get an initial drying before I put them in my drying area. And after that, tomorrow I think we'll come out and we will start the seeding process. And all we'll do is we'll just broadcast on here, step on it, maybe mix it up with a rake or something, and walk away and just let it grow. So we'll do that. But for a long time, a very long time actually, in my gardening life, I did not have any interest in growing taters, none whatsoever. And in the past few years, it has become one of my favorite crops to grow. I didn't want to grow them for a long time because, I mean, you can get a bag of taters cheap. You know, it's not like they cost a lot of money. Well, they didn't. So I wasn't really overly concerned about it, but as my garden grew, I kind of came up with this little bit of an issue where, to be honest, I was kind of running out of things to plant. Like, I would look at my garden plan and I would say, well, what's going in next? You know, and I would kind of come up blank. So one year, about 4 years ago, I decided, I was like, you know what, let's just do some taters. Let's see what happens. You know, no big deal. I think I had actually grown them before, didn't put a lot of effort into it, and I don't even remember if I was successful or not. Look, the water's been off here the whole time. This bed hasn't been watered in like a month probably. So I decided to grow them, and we kind of played around with them. I've landed on one entire 4x8 bed. Seems to be enough for me and my family to consume taters. Now, last fall, I did do man, I got so many weeds that grew up in between these taters, it's crazy. I did accidentally do a fall trial in the greenhouse, and it worked great. So we're probably, because we didn't have any taters over the winter, so we'll probably do that again. After we're done with this, we'll go in and we'll take a look at what we got, and we'll see what our plans are for them. I do have a specific plan for the taters. It just depends on how much we actually get and what I want to do with them. So we started growing taters, very easy, not much to it, you know, and this year I actually forgot to come back and hill the taters, and it didn't even affect them. As a matter of fact, I feel like I may have actually gotten better production. The jury is still out. Look at all that weed coming up, boy. Too bad that ain't the smoking weed. We'd all be happy. Look, I just scratched it with my fingernail. So we didn't even hill them. I think I may have splashed some dirt on them once, but nothing crazy, no in depth. I didn't even do the plan that I had enacted. I kind of sat back and looked at it, and time got away from me, and I just walked away from it, you know, just planted them deep from the get-go, and it all seemed to work out. But I mean, you can see by the amount of taters, we should get roughly 40 to 50 pounds of taters out of here. So there is that aspect. Another thing happened in the garden at the same time when, I know that's probably gonna make y'all want to throw up, my bad. We started shifting our focus on different crops. So we did a few things. We started focusing on what we call staple crops. And we can do a video about this later, but this was just long storage, no preservation needed, crops that you can make multiple meals out of, do different things with them, diversify with one ingredient in many different ways. So we decided to focus on that. And this actually came from an episode of the Backyard Gardens podcast that we did probably about 2 years ago. I can't remember, but we were trying some new topics and stuff like that. And we ended up going and talking about gardens back in like the 1800s or something. And, you know, what did they grow? Well, it was a lot of stuff like this, because these taters right here, without canning or anything, if you cure them correctly, they'll last 6-7 months like they are. And in my area, I confirmed last year that we can in fact do another planting of them. So we're going to take advantage of that, and basically we'll probably have, if I'm assuming and we do everything correct without preserving, we should have some form of potato in our area or in our house. I'd say about 8 or 9 months out of the year to consume. 8 being conservative, 9 or 10 probably being more likely, but I don't really know as of yet. We still have to go through it because we're going to do a fall planting outside to some extent. It may not be a whole bed. It may be a whole bed. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, because it also falls in the nightshade family. So we have to consider that into our crop rotation. But we are also going to plant them in our greenhouse. So that will give us a harvest right around the last frost outside. And then based on what I saw this year, you can go back and find that video. It's buried somewhere in there, but it was within the year, either November, December of year of our Lord 2024, or like January 2025. One of those, somewhere in there, I believe. And we didn't do anything crazy with the planting. We didn't really stack them in. I didn't have a whole lot. I just wanted to see. And we did, in fact, get some taters out of there. So if we densely grow in there, we'll probably be in better shape. So that's what we're looking at. It's just kind of a mixed bag with taters, how you want to do it and what you want to do. But it is such a good storage crop, and there's so many different ways you can do it. I mean, look, I live in America and I love a French fry. You know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't nothing better than a homemade French fry. But my favorite way to eat these potatoes is I do like boiled potatoes. It is what it is. And I mostly focus on growing Yukon Golds because they're easy. They harvest at a decent time. They get to a manageable size. You know, if you want to do like a big baking potato or something, never grown them, but I'll tell you this, the bigger the fruit, the less the harvest as far as like amounts of individual potatoes. Poundage is different, but as far as individual potatoes, it's a big difference. All right, harvest is complete. I'd say it's pretty good. So like I said earlier, we're gonna leave these out here for a day, and then tomorrow afternoon, we'll pick them up, we'll dry them, all that stuff. I would estimate there's somewhere between 30 and 40 pounds roughly here. Very rough estimate, but we got plans for these now that they're all laid out nice and even. We look at them, and I would say this portion here will get saved for replanting. So we'll replant all of these in the fall, and then probably from here over we'll go ahead and can. I don't think I'll can the red ones, so we'll eliminate the red ones from there and the other ones, and then seeing how it looks after that, we'll go from there. But I think what we'll do is I may take all the small ones and replant them, just because, or maybe even the big ones. I don't know. It gets a little bit complicated because I'm trying to manage how much we keep and how much we replant. If I keep the big ones, then I can cut them into pieces and replant them. Great. If I keep the small ones, I can just plant those whole or even cut those in half. So I really have to get my hands on them after they get dried, and see, there's no real rush, but we absolutely are going to take a large portion of them and can them immediately. Because what happened last year is we probably had a quarter of a basket go bad. And I don't want that to happen. That's just a waste of time. So we'll fix that. But if you get a bountiful harvest like this, I would say this year, potato hero, right? If you get a bountiful harvest, what do you do with yours? Do you can them? Do you dry them? Do you just eat them all? How do you do it? Because one thing we're doing in our house too is we're trying to eat our starches by the appropriate portions. So when you do that, this harvest lasts probably about 4 times as long. It's pretty crazy, but we're trying to do that too, and that just kind of helps manage it a little bit more and spread it out. So as you can see, the bed's totally clear. So tomorrow we'll broadcast the buckwheat, turn the water on, and then we'll let the pollinators have fun with it until it's time to plant. Our Brussels sprouts will go in this bed. That will be the next harvestable crop that goes in this bed.